Hi everyone, this is Mr Neel Raithatha, also known as the Wax Whisperer. Thank you for tuning into my latest video. The patient in this procedure attended with a fully blocked right ear, and the consistency of the wax in the right ear was very soft, wet, loose. We can generally categorise earwax as either being dry or wet. I would argue there's many subcategories under each of those primary categories of dry and wet. What determines whether you have wet or dry earwax is all gene dependent. This is a particular gene called the ABCC11 gene, and if you have a particular mutation, which means you have a dominant guanine allele, so your genes, you have pairs of genes, and there's 4 different types of ribonucleic acids, adenine, guanine, thymine, I think your last one, thymine, do forgive me if I've named that incorrectly. So if you have the guanine allele and it's a dominant one, you have the gene for wet earwax. If you have the other mutation, which is homozygous adenine allele, so recessive, so the other type of ribonucleic acid, the adenine, and they're both recessive, and you have a pair of those, that's the gene for the dry earwax. So if you have the gene for the wet earwax, so the one dominant guanine allele, what that does, it provides you with a sweat gland. It's a modified sweat gland called the apocrine gland, and it's the same sweat gland you find under your armpit. So if you have body odour and if you suffer from perspiration under your armpits, it's very likely that you've got that gene mutation of the ABCC11 gene, which also provides you with wet earwax. So you have the same sweat gland that's also found in the ear, and it's a different type of sweat from the sweat you get from your forehead, which is more a watery, salty solution. The sweat you get under your armpits is more of an oil based, and as it dries, it lets off an odour, and that's why body odour under your armpit can be quite offensive in smell, and sometimes the smell of earwax can be quite rancid. So. And it's believed that this gene mutation is more prevalent in people who are from African descent or European descent. People who are more in the Far East or North America are believed to have more of the dry earwax, so they don't have that particular mutation that provides you with body sweat, perspiration under your armpits, and therefore body odour. You can see nearly all done. This is just wet surface earwax. I hope you don't mind me explaining that. A bit of trivia knowledge. You never know, you might be on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and you get asked that question, and well, if you do and you remember and you get it correct, please do send half your winnings to me. I'm just finishing off here just with a fine end gauge, just mopping up some of the wet earwax, surface wax. It's not going to cause the patient any problems, but whilst we're there, let's see if we can. I'm not going to make contact with the bony part of the ear canal. That's the region we're on now because that's very sensitive. Earwax is actually quite healthy, guys. It provides a protective coating film of the ear canal and the outer layer of the eardrum. That protective film actually protects the inner part of the ear canal, the skin, so the epidermis layer of skin, protects it from infection, bacteria. It's actually a bit hydrophobic, is earwax. There's a still image of that big lump of wax that I extracted. So not epithelium, endothelium. The epithelial layer of skin is the outer layer, the endothelial is the inner layer, the deeper layer. So the wax protects the epithelial, the outer skin layer, and also therefore protects the inner endothelium. It also helps against radiation, apparently, earwax. So it doesn't allow UV rays from the sun to penetrate, and it's also insect repellent. So earwax is good, just too much is bad. I hope you enjoyed that video, guys, and some of the trivial knowledge there. I shall speak to you all shortly. Bye.